Hey everybody, I appreciate you joining me. It's John again. It's October the 30th, 2013, about 12:37 in the morning, and I just got through reading some pretty upsetting news here on Fox. And I'm sorry, this is off the beaten path of what I would normally talk about, but this is something near and dear to me. And any veteran out there or any active duty soldier, I'm sure this is going to be near and dear to them too. Fox News reported about a staged arrival ceremonies for fallen soldiers. The person that broke this story was Barney Chakrabarti or Checkerbody or whatever. Anyhow, it was published October 29th, and I just want to kind of read a little bit to y'all and kind of get some feedback, because this is really upsetting. It's wrong because the government uses us as a big police department to go out and basically clean up their mess when they can't seem to agree or get their way. They just go out there and pretty much use soldiers for their own personal gain. And my years of being a soldier and the other soldiers like me, we've never complained about having to be sent out to the battlefield. We've never balked at the ideal. We've never cried about it and whined. We sucked it up and drove on and did our job. The only thing we've ever asked that our government not do is use us unless it's an absolute necessity. When we raise that right hand and we take that oath to faithfully defend the Constitution of the United States and defend the weak and to defend our American way of life and beliefs and rights, we take that oath very seriously. And every day soldiers and vets are getting made fun of or forgotten through the cracks of the system or whatever, and you don't really ever hear us gripe and complain about it. But you know what? It's time that the American public, as well as us, vets, retired, active duty, guard, reserve, whatever branch of service, we need to make our voice heard. And this here is a little something I'm going to read here. In Washington, Senator Claire McCaskill is pressing the Pentagon for answers following reports and an admission by the U.S. Department of Defense that it staged arrival ceremonies for fallen soldiers. It's bad enough we got to go over to a battlefield. We kiss our loved ones goodbye, and we know we may never see them again. And our loved ones know they may never see us again. And to go over there and do the job, and a stressful job, a difficult job, because when you shoot someone or you do that main act of war, that's the possibility that you've just took out somebody's dad, brother, son, uncle, brother, cousin, what have you. It's somebody's family member. When you do that, you can't take it back, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. And it's bad enough that we have to deal with all that, the stresses of hardships and unfriendly conditions and unfriendly environments, unfriendly people. A lot of places we're not welcome there, for the given reason. If something happens to one of my brothers or my sisters in a battlefield or in any kind of incident, and one of our brethren or sisters have fallen, what in the hell is wrong with this country that they're going to stage a ceremony and the recovery efforts are suffering from systematic problems and lack of coordinated leadership, and I understand that. Families in a community, they just want the truth. Don't sit there and try to falsify it, just be truthful about it, On the second paragraph here, this is even more evidence that these recovery efforts are suffering from systematic problems and lack of coordinated leadership. McCaskill said in a statement, families in this community just want officials to be honest and forthright about the government's efforts. Instead, what they're often getting is false hope and fake ceremonies. When the government shut down, there was the possibility about soldiers having to, if they were fallen, that families were having to get them home, or the government wasn't going to pay for the burials and things. That's a bunch of crap. We sit there, we sign that dotted line, or we sign that blank check open to anything up to, including our lives, no qualms. The least that this government can do is take care of us when we come home, whether we're in a box or we're upright. Period. It's not negotiable. There's no excuse for the government to just forget about us. And I don't care what their reason is. They have no legitimate excuse that is acceptable or should be acceptable to anybody who views this. Joint prisoners of war missing in action, a county command, a unit in the Defense Department has been holding arrival ceremonies for 7 years with flag-draped coffins being carried off cargo planes as though they held the remains of American troops that had just returned. You know what? There have been times when they didn't even know where the remains were, according to this report. Then they go on to say, however, the remains typically are on site before each ceremony began at a lab where they were undergoing analysis. The report focuses on ceremonies at Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickman, in Hawaii. Okay. This just really upsets me. And this should upset everybody out there. In the past 7 years, numerous reports of these happenstance or incidences. It's inexcusable. We sit there and we have to work 20 plus years to get a retirement. If we fall, spouses, family members, designated beneficiaries, you got to kick and scream to get the benefits, and what is wrong with people today? They got these jobs and they fill these positions. Do they just not want to do the job? If that's the case, they need to get out and let somebody in there who wants to do the job, to work a fallen soldier is an honor and a privilege. By all means, you should have 150% pride in that job, because that fallen comrade, brother, sister, that soldier has paid the ultimate price, the ultimate sacrifice. And the least that anybody bringing those remains home and processing all the paperwork and everything could get off their butts and do that job. We sit there and we serve. We got to do 20 plus years. A working man out here's got to work 20 plus years to get a retirement or any kind of benefits. These folks up there in Washington, they sit there and they get one term, they get money. The president serves 4 terms, or 4 years, 8 years, and he gets that for the rest of his life. I disagree with that. Everybody needs to be held accountable, period. In July, the JPAC, they came under scrutiny after an Associated Press or AP report revealed that its methods of accounting for missing Americans on foreign battlefields was acutely dysfunctional. The Government Accountability Office released its own report 2 weeks later, echoing the sentiment. The admission has blindsided many veterans and families of MIAs, led to believe they were missing the return of the heroic American soldiers killed in war. An investigation also uncovered that some of the remains of the soldiers had been in military custody for months before being used during ceremonies carried out by JPAC. There is no excuse for that. It's unacceptable. It hurts me, not only as an American, but it hurts me as a vet, as a man who served. You know, I was very naive. I was very young when I went to service. I believed in mama, apple pie, the American red, white, and blue. And you know what? 22 and a half years later, I can't say that I'm so proud anymore. I'm ashamed of this country, and not the general American country, the politicians and powers that be. I'm ashamed of them. I'm ashamed of what they stand for. I'm ashamed of what they've done. I'm ashamed of what they're doing. From President Barack Obama and his band of misguided drones and misfits. You know, it's kind of like Star Trek and the Borg. You know, if you ever watch Star Trek and you've seen the Borg episodes, you know, prepare to be assimilated, resistance is futile. If you speak out against Obama, what are they calling it? I'm discriminating against him. But if that's the case, because I disagree with his policies and the things he's done and said, his treacherous acts, in my opinion, just disregard for the American Constitution and the American way of life, then I guess, you know what, I guess I'm racist, or I'm a suspected terrorist, or whatever the hell it is they're labeling people like me today. I guess I'm one of them. I see myself as an American. I've earned the right to live how I see fit, to live with my wife, my children. That's all any of us want. The American dream. To live life the way we see fit. Not having some jackass up in Washington sitting there trying to say they know what's best for us. They haven't a clue what's best for us. They have no idea. I don't even think they know what's best for them. The only thing they seem to have is corporate greed, and that's all the government is now, is a corporation that's run by greedy people trying to pad their pockets. And in the meantime, the soldiers, the wounded soldiers, the fallen brothers and sisters, there's no excuse. Anyhow, my name's John. I thank you for joining me. I appreciate you watching this. If you have any comments, good or bad, feel free to post them on the Facebook page, shoot them to my YouTube address, send them to my email. I'm easy to find, easy to get along with. Any comments, suggestions, feel free to do that too. Send pictures, friend me, whatever. You know, good or bad, that's your right. You don't have to like me, you don't have to love me, but you will respect me, because the only thing I'm going to tell you on here is the truth, and that's just the way it is. That's who I am. I'm not going to change. But anyhow, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.